very simple. American people do not know Islam because if they know Islam, it is illegal for this religion, if they want to call it religion, it's actually a cult, a barbaric cult, to be practiced in America. That's the problem. And by the way, the 9 years old is just Muhammad case with his favorite wife, Aisha. But according to Quran, chapter 65, verse 4, a Muslim man can have sex with his wife at any age. No such a thing. You can have sex when they are 1 to 2 years old. They call this zawaj al-radiyya. That is a marriage to the breastfeeding wife. She's still breastfed by her mama, and a man can play with her sexually. And all the way until after death, 7 hours after death, a man can have sex with his dead wife, as Muhammad did with his aunt. So there's no problem about having sex with them before the 9 years old and after death. That is Islam. But I'm glad you mentioned. By the way, if you ever hear me teaching, I always say there's no such a thing as radical Muslims because there is no such a thing as radical Islam. Islam is Islam. If the American people just educate themselves, they can save their country. The Bible said, and I say I'm an American, but I say to you, listen up, Americans. The Bible said, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. You are bringing destruction on yourself. Your grandchildren will be cursing the day to have you as grandparents because you have done nothing. Listen to me again. You have done nothing to protect them because you're allowing the Muslim to destroy your country by giving them your country with your stupidity of political correctness. Get rid of this, and if Muslim is upset, read to them the Quran. And you cannot do that unless you are familiar with the Quran. That's why I always beg people, get my Quran. I translated it. I spent 4 years to work hard on it. I sent already a copy to every senator, to every congressman, to every governor, to the High Supreme Justice Court. I did not send a copy to Obama because I will not waste $3 or $4 to send him a copy because he knows from the Arabic language, as a matter of fact. But if you go talk to your legislator and they tell you they have not received my copy, please do me a favor, send me their address and send me their name, and we'll be glad to send another copy. The answer is education. Let's learn the truth about Islam. Let's expose Islam for what it is so we can save our country. At least we save our children from falling into this trap of Islam is love and peace. Yes, it is peaceful, sister. Peaceful. You see, we do not speak very good English. We cut people to pieces. Cut their head, cuts their hand, cuts their legs, pulls their eyes out. And that's what Islam is. Peaceful. Lots of pieces.
Well, thanks, Joanne, for calling. I appreciate it. Maybe next time you'll call in with an opinion. My gosh. Jeez. Try to drag it out of her.
She did a great job. Praise God. Well, but don't forget, brother, she is experienced. That.
Oh, no,
she was married to a
definitely.
Muslim man.
Yeah.
She have a child who is 30 years old. I mean, you can listen to me as much as you want. I have never been a Muslim a day in my life. She was married to a Muslim man. I was never married to a Muslim man in my life. And I have seen thousands of American ladies who became a Muslim and they have the best 5 years of their life until their husband, the Muslim Mohammedans, become a citizen. And then they were thrown out of their own homes, out in the trash can. Sadly, many of our young ladies are now becoming Muslim, believing in Islam, married to the Mohammedans, and they found out the truth later. Thank God for this wonderful sister here who experienced. It is better to learn from a man or a woman who have experience than to read a book.
Yeah, that's true. Hi, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Wow, that's a hard act to follow. I was looking at some photos of Palestine in the 17 and 1800s, and there's a lot of people that don't have covered heads and aren't wearing scarves. And then going to Palestine in the 1990s in Egypt and Jordan, nobody had these scarves on their head. Nobody had the walking tent outfits. I didn't see any of this, even looking in photos of Iran in the 50s and 60s. In fact, most ladies in Jordan in the 50s and 60s were wearing the same clothes that people in the United States were. In fact, sleeveless blouses, mini dresses and heels and things like that. I mean, very fashionable. Even, they used to call Lebanon the Paris of the Middle East, and they wore, beautiful things. Now, if you go now to Jordan or Palestine or any of those countries, people are covered from head to toe. It's kind of silly and surprising. Now, I was just in Ohio recently, and I saw a Muslim girl with her whole face wrapped up, but tight jeans and high heels. And I'm just wondering, what is the purpose or what is the reason for this change to, all this total covering up when obviously if the Quran hasn't changed, then the rules haven't changed.
Well,
so why were these women, able to walk around without, a tent covering them?
Ayatollah Khomeini.
yeah. Well, sister, you have to
No, I
understand.
mean, not just in Iran.
Yeah.
I mean,
In
I
the
was
world.
in Jordan in 91. I
Sure.
was in Jordan in 97.
As a matter of fact, I agree with you 100%. If you look at any colleges in Egypt 25 years ago, you may say few ladies covering hijab. Now, only the Christian ladies are not covering hijab. But believe it or not, the Quran teach women must be covered from head to toe. As a matter of fact, this was invented by Omar himself. A long story, I'm not going to get to it now. But he commanded ladies to be covered that you cannot even see their eyes. He said a small hole in front of their left eye so they can see where they're walking. And Islam was practiced like that for many years until we got to World War I, World War II, and things has changed because we brought some liberty and some freedom to Muslim women. And sadly, the Brotherhood, which is started by Hassan al-Banna and Sayyid Qutb, which, by the way, the Brotherhood is the mother of all jihadi, which Obama said they are just a secular group. That's why he is loading the White House right now with many members, men and women, of the Brotherhood. But the Brotherhood was trying hard for over 60 years or so, up to like the days of Jamal Abdel Nasser, to cover women in hijab. We have some videos, black and white, available on YouTube, where Jamal Abdel Nasser laughed at the Mufti of Egypt, who asked him to make a law in Egypt to cover women in hijab. That's Jamal Abdel Nasser before Sadat, 35 years ago or so. And the whole entire Congress meeting laughed at this imam because Jamal Abdel Nasser asked him, can you make your own daughter cover in hijab? His own daughter was not covering hijab at this time. But today, obviously, they are living in fear. If a lady will not be covered with hijab, go online and watch how many women lost their beauty with muriatic acid. Their own husband, their own brothers, their own father will cover them with acid.
I originally thought that the idea was that the hair was their vanity and they shouldn't be vain. I was originally told that that was what the passage in the Quran meant.
No. That's a lie.
No.
The Quran teaches should be covered from head to toe, that they will not be known to the point you cannot know who is behind the hijab. So many of these moderate Muslims, they call themselves moderate Muslim, I don't believe they're moderate at all, who covers their hair but they show up their face and they can put makeup and they look beautiful,
right,
and they can talk with their eyes more than they can talk with their lips. That's not Islam. That's propaganda. The true hijab, you need to go to Saudi Arabia and see. If you cannot tell who is behind the clothes, that is the true hijab. But that is Islam. Here's the problem. The problem is those who pretend that that's not Islam, they need to go back to the Quran and learn the truth. What the Quran teach about women. They have to live under this tent, like it or not. And they're here in America, and you see them even in Disney World or every fun place, still in their hijab. Well, they're not supposed to get out of their homes. Muhammad said in the Quran, chapter 33, verse 33, stay at your houses. So women should not get out of the house unless she have a maharim to go somewhere and come back. She have a husband, a brother, a father-in-law. Otherwise, she cannot get out of the house. Because if she did get out of the house and she get raped, we have to stone her because she asked for it. That's how Islam is working. Anyway, thank you for your call, sister. Very good comment.
Thank
Have a great
you. 206-1580, toll free, 888-441-1580. Hi, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Ken and panel. L.A. Daniels.
Hey, L.A.
Couple of things. I wanted to first of all say I came out of the Washington D.C. era when Wafdeen Muhammad and Mr. Farrakhan were recruiting from within the prisons, and they were recruiting an army, of men that would at some point in time, wreak holy war on the country, and then they spread them out all over the country. Some of my friends turned Muslim. They even went up to Wisconsin, which now has a big Muslim base. First qualifying statement was that I like to make is that I've tried to explain to people that you can't be a Muslim and not want to kill and not believe in jihad, just like you can't be a Christian and not believe in Jesus Christ. At some point in time, if you really, really believe, you have to follow what the orders are, and the orders come from the Holy Quran. Having said that, I wanted to bring this up, Ken. Do we know that here in Charlotte County, we have a Muslim base that is slowly engroping its hands around our community? They just bought the old Elks building on Veterans Highway, which means now we'll have two mosques here in Charlotte County. And as a person who believes that everything starts locally, my question to the panel is how do we then educate the citizens here about what's going on and how do we track the money? Because I think the biggest thing is the infiltration of our